I built a robot that watches one flight for me. And the second it drops in price, it emails me before I even open my laptop. Toronto to LA just dropped from $240 to $204, and I found out from my phone while I was still in bed. Here's the exact automation, and let's build together.
If you've ever tried to time a flight purchase, you know the pain. You check today, it's $240. You check tomorrow, it's $260. You wait one more day hoping it drops, and now it's $310. Refreshing Google Flights 5 times a day isn't a strategy. It's a part-time job. So I automated it. This robot checks the price every single morning and only bothers me when it's actually good news. This is a fully automated flight price tracker built entirely in N8N, no coding. It runs on autopilot every morning, checks real live prices through Google Flights, compares it to yesterday, and only sends you an email when the price actually drops. Let's break down exactly how it works, step by step. And yes, you can copy this today.
These are the Google Sheets that I'm going to use while running this workflow. In the start of this workflow, I will use the previously recorded data in this Google Sheet so that my workflow can read that previous data or my query to continue.
The Google Sheets that I will use in this workflow, I will attach those Google Sheets in a pinned comment and the description, and you can download and use those Google Sheets for your practice.
Step 1. The schedule trigger. Every single morning, this robot wakes itself up. No button, no manual click. It just knows it's time to check prices, like an alarm clock for your flight deal. Step 2. Get watch list. The robot opens a Google Sheet. Think of it as your travel notebook. Inside, you list exactly which flights you care about. Origin, destination, date. In this case, Toronto to LA, September 15th. The robot doesn't search the whole internet. It only checks what you tell it to watch. When we will be done and configure all the settings and checking the connection for the Get Watchlist node, this node will extract all the important information from the spreadsheet that is necessary to have the prices available for the flights. Step 3. Loop over items. The robot doesn't check all your flights at once. It goes one at a time. Flight 1, done. Flight 2, done. Flight 3, done. Clean, controlled, no chaos. Wait, this one's small but important. The robot pauses a few seconds between each check. Why? Because if it asks Google too fast, too many times, Google basically says, slow down. So we build in patience, literally.
Step 5. This is where the magic happens. The robot sends a request to Google Flights through SerpAPI and asks one very specific question. How much does this flight cost right now? Not every flight on Earth, just Toronto to LA, September 15th. One search, one answer.
For that, we will go to the SerpAPI website, and from the left panel, we will search for Google Slides. Then we will copy the Google Flight API URL from there and paste an HTTP node URL. Next step will be switch on Send Query Parameters. Query Parameter option, using the field below, we will add all the necessary parameters. In the query parameters, there will be one parameter named HL. That means host language. That means which language we need the result back in. Now, a very important thing, the API key. The SerpAPI key will be another query parameter, and you will find it on the SerpAPI website dashboard. Copy that API key from there and paste it into your node configuration. Last query parameter that is really important, the type. That means what kind of trip you are looking for, round trip or one-way trip. In Google SerpAPI, round trip is given number 1, and one-way trip is given number 2. So we will add that in a query parameter, that right now we want a one-way trip. We will add the query parameter as type and give it the value as 2. Step 6. Extract the cheapest flight. Google just sent back 50 different flight options. That's a lot of noise. So the robot filters through all of it and keeps exactly one thing, the cheapest price. In this case, Air Canada, $204. Everything else gets thrown away. For that particular purpose, we have to add the code node. And in that code node, we will give a specified code so that we will have only that much information that is important and in a proper format. Also, guys, you will get this code separately along with the Google Sheets. Step 7. Get the previous price. Before the robot can tell you anything useful, it needs to know what the price was yesterday. So it opens a second sheet, its memory, and pulls up the last recorded price. Let's configure the settings of this node. When this node receives the data that you can see on the left, after checking the connection, we will use getRow because this sheet needs to check the previous price. So we will take the option of getRow. In getRow, we will choose the sheet we are using, and in the sheet, we will choose the History tab because all the previous data is saved in the History tab, so it will check the History tab. Then in Filters, we will check the column and include the Watch ID in there because the workflow needs to check the Watch ID, and depending on that Watch ID number, it will look through the whole column and track the previous price. For the value of the Watch ID, we will pick the JSON ID from Extract Cheapest Flight and drag it into the value field. Step 8. Compare price. Now the robot does simple math. Yesterday, $240. Today, $204. That's a real drop. The robot knows this actually matters. Let's configure this compare price node. In this compare price node, we will use a code again. This is a code node where we have changed its name to compare price. You guys will get this code in my description and pinned comment. This code is a JSON code, and with the help of this JSON code, this workflow will compare the previously checked price and the new price. Depending on this code, it will give you this data on the right side. You can see it has checked the 2 flights. First, it compares the first flight on the list. Then it compares the second flight on the list. Step 9 is the decision point, the if node. It asks one simple question. Is today's price lower than yesterday's? If yes, send the email, save the new price. If no, just quietly move on. No spam, no noise. Only the alerts that actually matter. Let's check the configuration of the email node and the append row sheet, history sheet. First, we will check the append row sheet. In the append row sheet, the configuration will be connection. Check the connection first. Sheet, sheet within the document. Operation, append row, because it needs to save the new information about the flight. Tab, history tab, because it needs to save the new information in the history tab. Mapping, map each column manually. Whatever columns we have in our history sheet, we will use those columns. Columns, time span, watch ID, origin, destination, depart date, airline, fare cache, current price, previous price, drop amount, is drop, like comparison, status. All these values or columns we will drag and drop here from the compare price node. From the compare price node on the left, input, we will drag and drop all this information here. Next is the send a message, email configuration. In email configuration, account connection, check the account connection, resource, message, operation, send. 2, your email ID, where you want this information. Subject, depending on yourself. I put flight price drop alert, but you can put according to you. Message, this is the sample message you can see that I used as a flight price alert, route from this to this. For the message content, you can drag and drop all input panel under the heading of compare price. So from the compare price node input, whatever information you have, you can drag and drop in your sample message. You can change that according to yourself. So you can see this is my sample message, the whole information that I will get in the email. So this was the configuration of my email node. And now we will see this last node, that is no operation, do nothing. So when you will see this node, it's empty. It's nothing in here. Only whatever you will get, the same information will come on the right as an output, but there is no setting or no configuration. This node is not going to do any operation. It's like a no operation node.
Now here's where you come in. Comment your own route below, not just any route, your actual dream trip, Toronto to Bali, wherever you've been secretly wanting to go. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.